Welcome back to Alpha Recap. Hope here, upbeat and ready to walk through the market flow from today. The trading day was done and dusted, and we've got AI-driven semiconductor chatter, biotech catalysts, and some wild high-volume small-cap moves to unpack. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Great to be here. Lots to dig into from today's briefs. Some big themes stitched together across very different parts of the market.
Let's start at the top. Semiconductors and AI demand were the storyline that ran through the tape. Jonathan, one headline that popped was Intel sitting at roughly a 91 times forward price-to-earnings ratio. So, what really stands out here is, why does that matter?
A forward price-to-earnings ratio of about 91 times is very elevated. When a company has a multiple like that, market expectations are high. I mean, when you step back and look at this, the stock becomes more sensitive to any disappointment in earnings or guidance. Small misses can trigger outsized moves.
Right. And the other thing is, Micron was preparing to report into this AI-driven memory cycle. How did that play into the day?
Micron's report was the immediate thing traders were watching as a proxy for real AI spending. Memory is in the path of AI server builds, so analysts were focused on forward sales, average selling prices for memory, and commentary on AI server add-in boards. If Micron's numbers had shown clear AI-led demand strength, it could validate the story behind those lofty valuations. If not, we could have seen a broader repricing across chip names. Also, today suggested higher than normal correlation across the chip group. Traders were rotating between names, and momentum indicators were amplifying intraday swings.
And to put that into plain language for listeners, when we say correlation and rotation, you mean stocks in the same industry moved together and money shifted from one name to another quickly, right?
Exactly. Correlation is just a fancy way of saying the names were moving in sync. Rotation means traders were shifting capital between those names. That can make the whole sector feel more volatile than usual.
So what should people be watching in the near term on the chip front?
Analysts flagged a few levers: guidance changes from Micron, channel commentary on server builds, and memory price trends. Those are immediate sentiment drivers. Momentum may push things further in either direction, depending on the initial reaction to results or pre-release checks.
Got it. Moving on. Biotech and healthcare had some event-driven headlines. Johnson & Johnson got a regulatory approval for a psoriasis drug, and a major bank reiterated coverage. Tell me why that mattered today.
Approvals translate into a clear commercial pathway. The bank reiterating coverage is a confidence signal. Even if they didn't change the price target, it shows analysts are not flipping negative on the news. What matters now are launch plans, early sales checks, and how analysts start to model the dermatology revenue contribution.
And Callan Biotech was on our radar, with a final overall survival analysis due to be presented at the European Lung Cancer Congress on March 25th through 28th. Event-driven volatility in a nutshell, right?
Yes, that's the prototypical binary event. A single presentation can move a stock a lot, depending on the survival tables and subgroup analysis. Investors tend to react strongly to positive or negative directional data in those settings.
Right.
And little partnership news like the Biotech collaboration with Sci Life Sciences is the kind of commercialization step that's incremental but meaningful. It's not revenue evidence today, but it signals the company is setting up U.S. execution capability for that immunology platform.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one.
Yeah, that tracks. These partnerships often precede contract wins, so they're worth monitoring even if they don't move the revenue needle immediately.
Switching gears to microstructure, we saw outsized volume in a couple of small-cap names that moved the tape. One name fell about 1.7% on volume of around 201 million shares, and another rose about 3.5% on volume of about 127 million shares. What does that tell you?
High turnover like that creates liquidity, but also execution risk. Momentum strategies can get amplified returns and amplified losses. When a small cap trades that heavily in a session, market microstructure and order flow dynamics often drive price more than fundamentals for a while.
So, for listeners who are newer to this, execution risk means large buyers or sellers could move the price and end up getting worse execution, right?
Exactly. If you're trying to buy or sell a large block, heavy but one-day volume can mean the price moves against you during execution. Risk managers pay attention to whether that volume sustains into subsequent sessions to tell if interest is real.
Quick reactions. Right.
Wow, big day.
On the corporate side, Pavion appointed a new CFO and CIO and showed up at ISC West. Puckett Financial Group picked up dual Forbes Best in State honors, and Chaince Digital recapped Argentina Week conversations about tokenized mineral assets. How should listeners think about these items?
These are all commercial signals. Leadership hires at Pavion suggest a focus on stronger financial controls and IT integration. Exhibiting at ISC West gives them direct booth-level visibility. Awards like Forbes honors are reputational, which can influence client flows over time. And Chaince's engagement with Argentinian officials is an early-stage sign of policy-level interest. Nothing commercial yet, but worth watching because pilots or guidance can follow.
I mean, when you step back and look at this, it all ties back to commercialization and go-to-market activity.
Right. Across these stories, you see companies signaling progress toward monetization, even when immediate revenue isn't shown.
Let's run rapid-fire updates that were in the briefs. Piper Sandler reiterated an overweight on Chewy and left a $48 price target. Mabtech's U.S. collaboration designates Size Boston site as a co-marketed execution hub for the IRA platform. Kellen Biotech will present final overall survival analysis March 25th through 28th. Pavion announced the executive hires and was exhibiting at ISC West. Chaince summarized talks with Argentinian officials. No pilots confirmed. Anything you'd add?
Just that these are the kinds of headlines that can set up watch lists, analyst notes, upcoming conferences, and clear event dates, like the Lung Cancer Congress. Those are the pockets of concentrated activity to monitor.
What should our listeners be watching tomorrow and in the near term?
Follow any timing updates from Micron and any pre-release channel checks. Watch Johnson & Johnson for early commercialization commentary on its new psoriasis therapy. Launch language and early sales checks will matter. Keep an eye on whether that heavy small cap volume persists into another session. That tells you if momentum traders are sticking around. And track post-conference follow-ups from ISC West in case Pavion or peers announce contracts.
To wrap up, let's do clear takeaways from today's flow.
First, AI demand continues to tighten the earnings lens on semiconductors. Elevated valuations like Intel's make the group sensitive to any earnings or guidance misses. Second, biotech remains event-driven. Approvals and pivotal readouts concentrate volatility in single names and their peers. Third, elevated intraday volume in small caps can create amplified momentum and execution risk. Finally, partnerships and leadership hires are simple but useful signals that companies are focused on commercialization.
Those are helpful. Remember, this recap is informational only. Analysts note trends and data suggest ways to read market signals, but this is not personalized advice and is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security.
Exactly. Use these notes as context, not instructions. And if you're tracking event dates or analyst updates, add them to your calendar and watch how the market digests each data point.
Thanks for that. Before we sign off, quick light moment.
Always more to follow tomorrow.
All right, that's it for today. If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai. Thanks for listening to Alpha Recap. I'm Hope. And Jonathan, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. See you next time.